Hi everyone, my name's Charlotte from the Heartfulness Centre. So I'm here to talk to you today about weight loss and hypnotherapy. I myself am a qualified hypnotherapist. So when it comes to weight loss, one thing I will say from the start is that diets don't work. 98% of diets have a failure rate. So where does that come from? So I work under the premise that we have subconscious patterns running in the background that we're not aware of, whether that's from childhood, adulthood. And the thing is, food has an emotional attachment. We have a relationship with food. And often it can be unmet needs, something we're trying to get from our environment that we don't have ourselves. It can be due to stress. Maybe we're trying to fill that hole of comfort, of love, of connection. Or it could even be a lot of the time to numb pain. And we use that as almost like a self-medication, and we use food for that thing. So the thing is, when you go into a program and it's all about the weight loss, you can say you can lose a lot of weight really quickly in a month or maybe 2 months. But then 6 months down the line, you find, oh, I've put all that weight back on and more. And the thing is, if you've got an emotionally ingrained habit or pattern, or like I said, there's an emotional need that's not getting fulfilled, that's going to come straight back on. At the end of the day, the subconscious is there to protect us, to keep us safe, and it can fulfill those needs through food. So one example I'll take is from a client. Again, went on many diets, couldn't lose the weight, put it all back on. It turns out that she had a lot of trauma. And the thing is, like I say, the subconscious mind is there to keep us safe. So no matter how much weight she was losing, it would all be put back on because her body was using it as a shield to keep her safe. And to be honest, the subconscious mind doesn't really care about what you look like, or at least it will override it if it's a sense of safety that you're trying to get from that thing. And for me, myself, I had let's say, thing with sugar. So sweet stuff like cookies and ice cream and things like that. And for me, it was used for me as a source of comfort, of connection, of love, to fill that hole that I wasn't getting met within myself and from others, like that sense of fulfillment. And the thing is, once I started working on that and I understood why I was eating those certain foods, and I made those changes myself to fulfill those needs that I was getting from that food. And I got those needs met through different sources, and also in myself. So I started loving on myself. I started giving myself all those things I needed. And from that, I no longer need those food products. I no longer need the cookies, the ice cream. And even when I do now, even when I want that food, I have more control over how much. So now when I go to the shop and I'm like, oh, I fancy something a little bit sugary, I can just have a couple of mouthfuls and I'm like, oh, that's it, I'm fulfilled now. I'm okay with that amount of food. Whereas before I would eat a whole bag of cookies or a whole pot of ice cream. So the thing is that I'm here with you today is basically with hypnotherapy, we will be working on the subconscious patterns. We will be working on the reason why you're eating those foods. Is it a belief from childhood? Is it a pattern that you grew up with? Is it a need that needs to be fulfilled? So for me, we'll be getting to the core issues of why you're eating that food in the first place and what emotion it is you're trying to get from that certain thing. So for me, it's more about your relationship with the food and with yourself. And from that, working on those deep core issues, it will give you more long-term benefit. Okay, thank you. That's all from me.